Hey English 111, my name is Miss Brewer, Siobhan Brewer, and I am going to be the instructor for your course for the remainder of the semester, which I know is weird. So having an instructor change in the middle of the semester is probably a little scary. I generally do video lectures for my online classes, so you should see these showing up every week or almost every week for the rest of the semester. And I'm going to take some time in this video to talk to you guys about where we're going to go from here for the rest of the semester, and how we're going to get your grades caught up and finished up, and kind of how things will work from here on out. So I do apologize for the change, and I apologize that, you know, the instruction's going to be a little different, and the expectations may change just a little bit, but I'll be very clear and I'll give you guys lots of information so that you are prepared and understand what's going on, okay? So I've been spending some time today going through Moodle and made a couple of changes from this week on out, so until November 3rd, and then for the rest of the semester, and I'm going to let you know how those changes are going to work. So that should hopefully ease your mind a little bit. I noticed that you guys have, just this week, you're choosing your argument topics based on last week, so I started to give some feedback on those, and I will give you guys feedback on those by the end of this week. And I see that, you know, there's some topics that you couldn't write about, which is great. You guys did a lesson on researching argument, which is great. And hopefully use a reputable online database. So this tells you in this lesson that you did last week using the LRC. Oh, no. Okay. It says avoid web searches, Google, so on and so forth. And so we don't use those, so just a heads up on that. This says search the news media. We are not going to be using the news media, so I'm going to say no to that. So here's where I want you guys to find your sources. The LRC. That's it. Okay, so we have an online database of scholarly articles, and that's where all of your research is going to come from. And I'm going to explain why, okay? First of all, that research is peer-reviewed. It should be fairly unbiased, and you get proper citations by using that resource. So I'm gonna tell you to live there, okay? So you have a topic that you're working with. I don't think it's been approved as of yet, but that's okay. Just go with whatever topic it is you decided to do. The topics that were banned are still banned, okay? So you cannot do, where is it? I know she had a list in here. Here it is, argument assignment details. So you still can't do abortion, you still can't do legalization of marijuana, underage drinking, euthanasia, gay marriage, or gun control. So I shouldn't see those topics, okay? She also gave you guys 4 topics to work with, so that's fine too. But I will go through what you guys submitted and give you some feedback on that this week. All right, so what you need to do is we're gonna go, what I've done is I have extended the annotated bibliography, so it is no longer due by the 3rd. I've extended the annotated bibliography to the 10th so that you have time to research and you have time to format the annotated bibliography with the information that I'm providing you. So that should give you a little bit more time to locate your articles and to get what you need. In your argument assignment details, I see that she said did she tell you how many sources you're required to have? Okay. No. So, 5 secondary sources. Okay, so, Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just give you my requirements. I want you guys to have 5 to 7 scholarly articles for your annotated bibliography. You're better off if you get 7 in there because you're going to be required 5 to 7 for your argument paper. And if you find that 1 or 2 of your articles end up not working for your paper, then you have to do more research and that becomes a whole thing. So I suggest go on the high end and find 7 articles. But 5 to 7 is what I'm looking for your argument annotated bibliography. Remember that you are going to be using these articles for your paper, okay? So, because I'm unsure if you know how to do this, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. I am going to put a link in this week to the LRC, and you guys are going to use that link to locate all the articles if you haven't located some already, okay? And so what you'll do is you will go to the LRC, and when you come to this link, you will go to under Learning Resources Center, it says About the LRC. Scroll on down and click on Library Databases. And then these are databases of articles, so we need to narrow it down. So on the right-hand side, it says Popular Databases. Scroll on down to NC Live, click on that. And once you've opened up this source, then I want you to go ahead and type your topic in. So let's say you're writing an argument-based paper on the death penalty. Then I would type in my topic, death penalty, hit enter. And then I'm going to have 3 categories pop up. And on the right, it says scholarly articles, and that's where I want you to go. So you'll click on scholarly articles, and then you'll have a plethora of articles show up. I would suggest not using the Lancet, okay? That's not really the type of resource we're looking for. So scroll on by these Lancet, because a lot of those articles are editorials, and those end up being biased. So scroll on by those. The first thing that we have that shows up that's not a Lancet article is criminology research. Has research by criminologists impacted capital punishment? We're not interested in that article, okay? Because we're going to argue either for or against the death penalty, yes? So the American death penalty decline is from the Journal of Law and Criminology, so that's definitely a reputable source. I'm going to click on this, and then the article will come up, all right? It's not it's kind of a long article actually, but what my suggestion is to you is to download the PDF. So on the right, you'll see a green button. It says download PDF. Save the PDF to your computer so you can get back to this article. You can also print it if you choose to. This is pretty long, so you may not want to. And then underneath download PDF, it says cite. So we're going to click on cite. And then it says citation style, APA. We are not using APA, we are using MLA. So I'm going to use the drop down box, just scroll on down and click MLA 8th edition, and there is my proper citation. You need this citation for your annotated bibliography. So I'll copy and paste that, I'll put it in my Word document, all right, and I'll make sure I format it in Times New Roman, and then it's double spaced, and I've got my citation for this particular article, okay? That's the first step of writing an annotated bibliography, locating 5 to 7 articles, getting the citation. The next step is reading, so you need to read the articles. When you read the articles, then I suggest you go ahead and actively read the articles now. Take notes, highlight, annotate, find statistics, data, quotes that you can use that are going to prove either arguing for or against your topic. Okay, that way you don't have to go back in when it's time to write the paper and redo the reading and finding these things. It's done at once, okay? So utilize the LRC for this assignment. And I also have in here a annotated bibliography presentation. So if you will open that up, I'll go through that with you guys really quickly. So there's an example of a annotated bibliography in MLA format. I took it from the Writing Lab, Purdue OWL. and it just tells you about what annotations are and what they do, okay? Then the next slide tells you what MLA is, Modern Language Association. What does MLA regulate? It regulates document format, in-text citation, and works cited page. You need to know that, okay? So be aware of that. What is an annotated bibliography? Your annotated bibliography is an organized list of sources that you plan to use for your paper. And what your annotated bibliography includes are full citations listed in alphabetical order and an annotation under each citation that does three things. It summarizes the article, it evaluates the credibility, and it identifies how you will use the article for research, or how the article could be used for research, because we don't use personal pronouns in our writing. So for the steps for an annotated bibliography, you have been gathering research, I assume. For this assignment, we're using the library database, so that's where I want you to live for your scholarly articles. Then you will cite your sources, which I just showed you how to do in the database. And then I want you to create your annotation. Your annotation will summarize the source in 1 to 2 sentences. It will evaluate the credibility of the source. So the source is credible because it uses statistics, data, studies, whatever is in the article. And how will it be used for research? The source would be used for the source would be used to prove that the death penalty is not cost effective, or whatever is in that article, okay? So for your annotated bibliography, it needs to be in alphabetical order. It needs to be in MLA format, meaning you need a header and you need your heading, okay? The header, I'm gonna put an MLA review in here for you, just so you guys remember what MLA format requires. But it requires a header and it requires the heading. The header is the top right with your last name, page number. The heading is your name, the instructor's name, the course's name, and the date, day, month, year. Then you have an example of a long annotation. Y'all's annotation should only be like 5 sentences max, okay? 2 sentences for a summary, a sentence for credibility, a sentence for identifying how it will be used in research. All right, example of an annotated bibliography shows you what that heading looks like, shows you a title, shows you your annotations. Your requirements for this assignment: MLA format, provide your summary, make sure your summary does these 3 things: summarize the source, identify how it will be used, evaluate the credibility, and repeat that for each source that you have. You're required to have 5 to 7 sources. So going back here into Moodle, I have a student example for an annotated bibliography, so you can see what it should look like. It is a student example, so it is not perfect, but this student example shows you the header, it shows you the heading and the date format. It shows you that your title should not just be annotated bibliography. Your title should have something to do with the content of your paper or what your topic is. It's in alphabetical order. It's a hanging indentation. And then your annotation here, it tells you the summary, the article overviews, a study comparison. For this assignment, I required this class to include a quote from the article. You are not required to do that, so you don't have to include a quote. All you need to do is summarize. You need to evaluate the credibility, and you need to identify how it will be used for research, okay? So make sure you review this student example so that you can see what an annotated bibliography should look like when you turn it in. All right, so I'm going back into Moodle. All you need to worry about this week is completing your annotated bibliography on your research topic. Make sure you turn that in. Also, there is a journal assignment. So for my journal assignments, I usually ask you guys to write like 200 to 300 words on a topic, and these count as your attendance assignments. So it's super important that you do your journal so that you get counted as present for the week, okay? So the journal assignment will be in there. It is a small grade, a participation grade if you will, and it's super important that you guys get that done for attendance purposes. So again, I'm Miss Brewer. My email is located at the top. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me, and I will get back in touch with you just as soon as I can. I will be working on updating your grades and getting things in proper categories and things like that throughout the next week or so. So again, if you have questions about that, feel free to email me or give me a call. All my information's listed. I'm sorry to interrupt your course, but hopefully for the rest of the semester things will work out well for y'all and there won't be too much confusion. I will check in with you guys again next week.